Hey, I didn't see you there. You're here early. Well, that's a good thing. I'm Kaveh Saidi, and you're here for a violin lesson? A quick one? No problem. What we're going to talk about today is how to sound like an electric guitar, which is what you just heard. One of the first things you can do if you're trying to sound like an electric guitar, let's say you're playing in a rock band through a microphone, you have your output jack going to your amp, but you don't have enough money for effects, is pretty much imitate what the guitar player next to you is doing. So a lot of guitar players in rock music are playing chords, and chords are 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6 notes at a time. And on the violin, that's kind of a hard thing for a young student. So what I recommend, step one, is to learn how to play a double stop. Fortunately, when you bought your instrument, it came with 3 double stops. If you didn't already know, they're tuned in fifths. You got your G to your D string, and that sounds like this. No fingers, very easy to play. Your D and your A string sounds like that. A and E like that. What you have to do, obviously, is you tilt your bow halfway between both strings and press a little bit, and you'll be able to play both strings, something you need to do anyway when you tune. So the reason why I tell you about these double stops is you can pretty much play any chord, or at least part of the chord, that your guitar player in your band is playing. If he's playing a G major chord, or a G minor chord, or a G minor 7th chord, or a G major 7th chord, and you have no idea what those things are, you could just play a G and a D. That's called a fifth. So what is a fifth exactly? It's 7 half steps up from the starting pitch. So if I start on a G, and I land on a D, and I play both together, that's a fifth. Another way to think about it is 5 steps up. I didn't say half steps or whole steps, I said 5 steps up in the major or minor scale. For your purposes, if you're a beginner or an intermediate student, just think about the major scale, let's say G major, and go up 5 steps in that scale, G, A, B, C, D, right? And we have a fifth. We landed on a D, and we're going to play both together. That's a fifth. Don't forget, you're going to count the starting pitch as 1. A is 2, B is 3, C is 4, and D is 5. And if you play both together, that's called a fifth. So what songs can you play with the fifth that you just learned? Well, first of all, you have to learn how to play a fifth without the open strings using a finger. And basically all you have to do is put down any one of your fingers on both strings at the same time. So I'm going to take a B flat on the G string. Remember, it's a low 2. And I'm going to put my finger in the same exact place on the D string. So I got my second finger on a B flat and an F at the same time, and if I play them together, what you have is called a power chord. It's also called a fifth, but rock players call it a power chord. Now, power chords for guitar players are really easy to play, and they play them all the time, and they especially use them in songs like this. If you're having a hard time playing it with a bow, what you could do is start by playing it plucking. So I'm playing open G, B flat and F. If that's too much trouble, just think about the B flat, C and G, and D flat and A flat together. All right, and that's going to sound like this. And I can even play that song with the drum machine I have on my phone. Don't forget, it's open G and D, B flat and F, C and G, D flat, and A flat. If that's hard, you could do a high 3 and come back to the C. So just think about the low note. G, B flat, C, G, B flat, D flat, C. And I know some people are saying, hey Kaveh, what about that electric guitar thing you did in the beginning? Well, this is a thing you can do right now for free. Don't need a pedal. What I did was, I put my bow extremely close to the bridge, and instead of pressing down all the way with my left hand, I just skated on top of the strings without pressing down. And the end result is this kind of an effect. An electric guitar sound without buying a single pedal. And my preference, actually, if you're going to start playing in a rock band, you bought your electric violin, you bought your amp, you bought your cable, but you don't have any money left, well, this is something you can do right away because it's going to teach you some bow control, it's going to teach you some light left hand pressure, which is good for your playing, and you'll be smiling pretty much the whole time, and everybody else will be going, dude, while you're doing it. So how did I do it? I put my bow basically on top of the bridge instead of halfway between the bridge and the fingerboard, right here. So what am I doing with my left hand? I'm barely touching the string and I'm not pressing down onto the fingerboard. Skating on the string with my left hand, I'm very, very light with it, and I want to play the same exact notes without pressing down. So here's the end result. So that about sums it up for how to sound like an electric guitar for free. Remember, my name's Kaveh Saidi, and this is Quick Violin Lessons. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to go back to practicing.